I got to a point where I realized that these things were getting worse and worse, and someday he was going to kill me.
I more or less felt like my world is just crumbling.
And at that time, I needed a safe space to go to.
Well, they let me see that I didn't have to live like that. He was going to kill me. He was definitely going to kill me. He got a gun.
Mary Ellen Deckard was a teenager with young children when she walked away from her abusive husband and into the arms of two women who would change her life and save it.
I wasn't less than. They treated me like I was somebody and that they wanted to mother me.
Those women were Anne Steytler and Ellen Berliner.
My mother was the brains and Ellen was the heart.
Carol Steytler and Christine Berliner remember their mothers as energetic community activists who inadvertently planted the seeds for what would grow to become the Women's Center and Shelter.
I think she wore her politics on her chest, so I have a lot of her t-shirts, but these are particularly relevant. I did hang on to her buttons.
Their story started in 1974 when they opened a storefront in Dormont as a place for women to simply gather.
Men had bars and VFW clubs to go to. Women really didn't have a place in the 70s to interact with each other.
And when a battered woman arrived at the shelter, they were kind of stunned, I think.
They soon learned that 40% of the women who were visiting the center needed a safe place to stay.
Women stayed at our house, they stayed at friends' houses. I don't think they realized the level, even the level of violence that would occur.
Pioneering Pittsburgh journalist Marie Torrey interviewed Anne and Ellen on her television show.
My family's home phone number was put on the television screen as a place to call if you needed help. And as soon as that phone number went up on the screen, my family's phone started ringing.
The Women's Center and Shelter of Pittsburgh was one of only 6 domestic violence programs in the country, an emergence that dovetailed with the burgeoning women's rights movement.
So 1974 was actually the first year that a woman could get a credit card on her own without her husband's signature.
The Women's Center and Shelter has grown in size and reach, serving more than 7,500 individuals and families every year, providing shelter, counseling, group therapy, and legal help from its secure and unmarked building. The signs of progress are evident here on murals displaying the artwork of survivors.
This towel says, "Follow your dreams." And to me, this speaks volumes. I think this is what drives and motivates a lot of our survivors who utilize our services.
Counselors are gaining a deeper understanding of the causes of intimate partner and family violence.
I believe we contributed to the shift with systems, recognizing trauma that can occur in family and that some of the barriers or challenges families have is a result of their unresolved trauma and learned behaviors.
In 2023, as many as 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men had experienced rape, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner during their lifetime. According to Centers for Disease Control reports, most victims and perpetrators don't seek help.
We've gone from, the early 70s when there was little to no understanding of what domestic violence was. It was thought of as a one-time occurrence, and now we realize that's absolutely not the case. It's a pattern of power and control that's used within a relationship, one person over the other.
Though much of domestic abuse is physical, there are other kinds, including sexual, verbal, and psychological control, as well as financial abuse. And as the new millennium brought a slight drop in cases of domestic violence, the pandemic reversed the trend, bringing a global increase of 8%.
It's actually been called the shadow pandemic because it makes sense, right? If the pandemic was all about taking power and control away from everybody, I mean, if you think back to those early days, for those who cope or who use power and control as their communication and as their kind of way of being in the world, that was challenged in a way that they needed to kind of double down and get more control back.
The Women's Center and Shelter has doubled down on its efforts to reach and help those in trouble, including the use of a smartphone app that places support at a victim's fingertips.
Bright Sky is an app that you can download on your phone at no cost. It's free, and it's an app with information about intimate partner violence, domestic violence. A person can use the app, first of all, to find domestic violence services globally. It's also a quiz on there. It's sort of like a quiz, I'll say a survey, that someone can take and answer questions to help evaluate, assess the safety level of their relationship.
And while the app is helping to educate adults, the Women's Center and Shelter is reaching out to young people, even preschool kids, with art projects that teach boundaries.
There are so many children who are impacted by domestic violence. They say 1 out of every 10 children in a classroom.
We take different parts of a teddy bear and it's paper, so it's an art project. So one group may get an ear, another group may get the belly, and then we put it together. And we look at how well they work together to make one thing, a teddy bear. So we're talking about sharing space without ever having to really say anything about domestic violence.
We see every day the worst of human nature. We see relationships that we, are supposed to be loving and are supposed to be respectful, as all relationships hopefully, should be at least. And we see violence, we see threats, we see fear. Hey, Emily, how are you? Good.
But Nicole Molinaro is hopeful. The day after we filmed this interview, the United States Supreme Court voted to uphold a law barring domestic abusers from owning guns.
When there's a gun present in a situation where there's domestic violence, a woman is 5 times more likely to be killed.
We know that abuse, power, and control happens in all relationships. So it certainly happens in heterosexual, it happens in the LGBTQ plus community, it happens in every ethnicity, every socioeconomic status.
As the need for support and protection has grown, so has the Women's Center's understanding of how best to provide help and hope.
We see hope in so many different ways. We see hope in the resilience of the folks that we work with. We see hope in people just finding us and coming for help and reaching out and sharing some of their most intimate, oftentimes secrets, and wanting to be able to live a life free from violence.
Ellen and Anne did what they believed was right, and they did it in a way that changed how everybody thought about it.
The woman's shelter is there. The people is there to support you. That I had so much support. It was just beautiful.
And once I made that call, it was never a regret. It was the best decision that I made.
It's really wonderful that this resource is here, and it's also saddening and frustrating that it's needed.
They were both difference makers, and not everybody can say that.
I think both Ellen and Anne would have liked the creativity that's gone into making this shelter really a warm, welcoming, helpful place.